Good morning, Ricky Tang here. Well, it's morning for me, it might not be the morning for you, so welcome. Welcome to my channel and welcome to this review of the Aprilia RSV4 1100 Factory. Now, big thanks to Frasers of Gloucester for allowing me to take out this beastie. I was actually expecting to take out the Tuono 660 this morning. Far be it for me to complain, but that's what I did my research on last night, that bike. So I might have to put a lot of specs on the screen for you rather than talk to you about them. So I want to get a bit of motorway riding out the way just to see what it's like at speed. So here I am at, 80-ish. Come on, that's pretty much cruising speed for a lot of people. And first thing is, I'm impressed about how little wind there is hitting my crash helmet at this particular speed. Getting a bit of a blast on the shoulders. Wow, it's ready to go forward at that speed, I'll tell you that. Vibration wise, I feel a little bit of a thrum through the seat at these revs, just over, well, we're about 6,000 RPM. This bike's quite low geared, isn't it? That's 6,000 RPM in top. It does feel a little busy. Wow, doesn't that sound amazing at tick over? Sounds like it's ticking over too high, but it's not, because the rev counter says it's definitely under 1500 RPM. Since this is my first ride on a clearly very, very powerful bike, I'm finding the sport throttle map, like the sport mode, is a little bit too sensitive for my liking for the first few miles. Just want to be a bit smoother while I'm getting used to the bike. Have one less thing to worry about. So on the user modes, we have Tour, Sport and User configurable settings. And Tour, see he's put traction control on 6, wheelie control on 3, engine management on 3, ABS 2, engine braking 3, launch control 3. I have so many settings here. Unfortunately on this first date I probably won't be exploring very many of them. Right, so I've upped the speed a little, I won't tell you to how much, but yeah, certainly more pressure on my upper body now. And unfortunately I've just discovered the left wing mirror is loose. And I haven't got a toolkit. Well, actually there might be one under the seat maybe. Unfortunately I can't see a toolkit. Hold on. What are the chances? Oh, it's just a screwdriver. You're going to give me a spanner, eye. Oh, right. I tried. So yeah, ride on with a wonky mirror or go home. I think I'll push on with a wonky mirror. I haven't got a lot of time today, so let's go on with it. So yeah, apologies if the mirror keeps coming into view, but I'm in third here purposely, and I'm just playing with on-off throttle in tour mode. And that fueling is good. That does not feel snatchy or surgy at about 5,000 RPM, I think. But it's very linear, very direct. Once you do start rolling it on, any little twist of the throttle immediately results in acceleration. Now this bike is very, very configurable, when it comes to the electronics. But one thing I don't think we got control over is the ignition cut time when using the quick shifter. And there's quite a lurch when you're going up through the gears. It seems to, relatively speaking, cut the power for quite a while. There's quite a jolt to gear changes. Certainly not as smooth as the S1000R that I rode earlier this year. Upshifter with its little lurch, it might get better if you're harder on the throttle or going faster. I haven't had a chance to explore that yet. But the downshift is lovely, absolutely spot on. I wouldn't want any more from a auto blip downshift. The riding position is pretty for a naked bike, you know, on the extreme side. Not extreme for a sports bike because they would have clip-ons, but yeah, though this handlebar's quite flat. And yeah, puts you in a good position for getting over the front and hooning it around. Is the riding position getting annoying yet? No. Actually, the legs are not too tucked up. I do feel that the foot pegs aren't quite as maybe as high. Relatively speaking, my legs aren't quite as cramped as they were on the S1000. I've had some action camera drama. The camera was creating action of its own, very unwanted. Basically, it turned itself off. It wouldn't turn itself back on until I pulled the battery out and put it back in again. In a classic GoPro styley. Wow, that pulls really strong. Around 5,000 and 6,000 RPM. I'm going to do that again. 5,000 RPM. Yeah, you roll it on at 5, just a touch soft. But by the time it gets to 7, it's pulling hard. That is deceptively quick. I think because it's not straight 4, it's not howling. Now I haven't, you know, got too high in the revs yet, but I did say deceptively quick. It pulls really hard without really feeling quite like it's pulling as hard as it is. And still sounds glorious while it's at it. Right, 4th gear, 5,000 RPM. I'm just squeezing the cheeky one. Oh, I was a bit lazy on the gear change, nearly jumped out. It seems that the quick shifter works best when you're committed. If you're a bit half-assed, it might jump out of gear at you. Wow. Wheelie control certainly earned its bread on that little stretch. The brakes slow you down real fast without drama, which is good. Back on my old 2019 S1000R, the initial bite was very grabby. The initial application was a bit off-putting. The new S1000R is much better for kind of progressive braking, and the Aprilia is similar. Kind of a soft initial bite, but you get squeezing and the speed disappears fast. Yeah, the quick shifter's better when you're getting on it, but it still does seem to be quite an ignition cut. Still a bit lurchy. Don't think it's enough to make me use the clutch. Thing is, you wouldn't want to use the clutch anyway if you're really getting on it, because you want both hands to hold onto the bloody handlebars. The seat is on the hard side. I'm just starting to discover that now since I've been on the bike for an hour and a bit, I guess. Hour and 20. It does feel a little bit firm on the old bot. Yep, it's official. I think this is the sexiest sounding bike I've ever ridden. I've just noticed that it's not a hydraulic clutch, it's a cable clutch. I realised that because my fingers were just starting to moan at me a little bit. Just on the old squeezing and letting go of the clutch in this slow speed situation we're in. So, still figuring out the bike. And you got some ASC, M2, M1, A3, A2, A1. If I'm cycling through these and then I press the left button, I think it shows me some suspension options. Let's get out of there. M2, yeah, get out of there. M1, yeah, we've got get out of there. Active road. Oh yeah, you can see on the A mode settings as opposed to M mode settings. Basically, it's kind of simplified menus. The bike does feel stiff, but it's still well controlled. Doesn't seem to be too stiff for its own good. And those suspension settings are something you can cycle through, whether you're on tour mode or sport mode or user mode. So that's nice. Suspension's very adjustable on the move through its presets. I spy a lovely radial master cylinder there on the front end. Brembo brakes. I do plan, if I get the time, to do a bit of a walk around. Whoa! That reminded me of my S1000R. The steering damper is electronically adjustable, so you might be able to do something about that. What a tool I am. What a tool this machine is. The problem is, it's so powerful and so capable, you'd end up taking liberties. The more often you do that, the more likely you are to get into trouble. For your information, 1077cc, V4, 16 valve, 13.6 to 1 compression ratio. 13.6. Yeah, 175 brake at the crank, 121 newton meters at 9,000 RPM, and I can attest to that. Moving on. It feels a bit low geared. 42 rear sprocket, 15 at the front. Doesn't sound especially high geared or low geared, sorry, but yeah, sounds a bit busy a lot of the time. Let's get up front. 330mm Brembo discs, Brembo M50 caliper, I think. Yeah, M50 monoblocks. So at the back, yeah, 220mm 2-piston caliper, Brembo again, lovely. Those forks, Olin's NAX electric, adjustable, beautiful bits of kit. 120mm travel. Like I said, personally a little stiff on my liking, but I still like it. So I'm not moaning that much. Oh, you would be looking to buy a radiator guard for that, wouldn't you? That is rather exposed looking. Yeah, LED lights all round. I mean, look at it. Look at it. What a stunning bit of kit. What are you doing? It would be an immense track day bike. So if you did a lot of track days, this would be such a machine, such a weapon on the track. All that electronic adjustment available to you. Fantastic. I'd love to try it on the track one day. You never know. Might happen. Probably won't. I've barely scratched the surface of what this machine can do. But what I've scratched, I've liked a lot. Could I see me owning one of these? Well, yeah, I can see me owning one of these. I just don't think it's a good idea. on this bike, from what little I know of it so far, I found no real flaws in the power delivery. It really ramps up once you get past 7,000 RPM, but it's respectable below that. Average miles per gallon 40. That's a bit better than I thought, looking at how fast the fuel gauge is going down. The fuel gauge was on all 6 bars earlier, and now I'm down to 2. Having more cameras hassles, so I've got to wrap this up pretty quick. The cons. What don't I like about this bike? Well, not a lot. I suppose for my tastes, the bike is a little bit firmly sprung, even on the softest settings, but that's more personal preference than anything else. But it's one of the reasons I eventually sold the S1000R, because I just couldn't get it comfortable enough. When you want to ride slow, and this bike has got a tour mode, you know, you want to be able to relax and you want the bike to feel relaxed. It doesn't quite ever feel relaxed. It's not harsh, it doesn't feel harsh, it just feels firm. And when you need it to be firm, you'll be glad that it works properly, it works well. Like I said, it feels a little bit low geared, a little bit busy. But then again, I wouldn't want to raise the gearing, because then you'll just be capable of even sillier speeds, and it's already managing. But from what little from what little experience I've had, there's nothing much else wrong with the bike. On the plus side, this engine. Like I said, it's my first Aprilia V4 that I've sampled, and it has not disappointed. It is a jewel. The handling, well, I'm not even going to pretend that I've explored the handling. It would be disingenuous to say that I've got my head around it. I haven't. But when I had a chance to throw it around those A roads, yeah, it did not disappoint. Would I want a second date with this Aprilia RSV 1100 factory? Yes, I would. I don't think my license would want a second date. That's the only thing. But yes, I'm going to wrap it up now. Thanks again to Fraser's of Gloucester for allowing me to take this bike out. I'll see you in the comments. Yeah, this ride has been eye-opening for sure. Take care. See you in another video.